Remember the trial of Constable James Forcillo, the officer charged in the streetcar shooting death in 2013 of Sammy Yatim? Well, today the evidentiary portion of it finally came to an end. The defense has been calling witnesses for the last couple of weeks, and there have been a lot of days lost to legal arguments, but this morning the jury heard from two witnesses who were on the streetcar on the evening of July 26th, 27th, when Sammy Yatim exposed his penis and had a knife, switchblade on one arm, and made sort of a sweeping motion towards one of four young women who were traveling home on the streetcar from a Justin Bieber concert. In any case, this giddy little group, you can see them in the video, they get on, they're all pumped up from the concert they've seen, and they sit at the back so they can sit together. And at some point, Sammy Yatim stretches out one of his legs, and one of the women feels a bit blocked in by it. Then, out of nowhere, he arcs the blade that way, sort of crossing between the chest and the throat of one of the women, Bridget McGregor. She testified today, and her sister, Christy McGregor, who is the mother of the 12-year-old girl who was on the car, also testified. Both women were extremely upset by what had happened and extremely upset in their testimony. Bridget McGregor essentially collapsed in the witness stand, appearing to almost suffer some sort of flashback episode. There was a lot of crying and trembling. And the essence of their testimony is perhaps best summed up in what Bridget McGregor told to Peter Browdy, Forcillo's defense lawyer. She wanted to make sure that people realized that Sammy Yatim, was dangerous that night. The problem is, Sammy Yatim is not the alleged perpetrator here. He's the victim. He was shot 8 times on that streetcar. Constable Forcillo is the one on trial. And he didn't know, nor did any of the police arriving right on the scene. None of them knew what had happened on the streetcar. All they knew when they got there was that there had been a man with a knife on the streetcar, that the streetcar was now stopped, and that there were no reported injuries. They didn't know. The 911 operator knew about what had happened, but the police didn't. Anyway, the evidentiary portion of the trial is over, and now, like every other court in the land, it is going to recess for a couple of weeks, and they will be back before the jury on January 5th.